Soft, fluffy, bakery style bomboloni, but completely eggless. Hi, I'm Archie, and today I'm sharing my eggless bomboloni recipe step by step. So grab your ingredients and let's get started. This recipe is a beginner friendly recipe, but I will also share professional tips so your bomboloni turn out light, airy, and bakery perfect. First step, take a bowl and add all your dry ingredients that include all purpose flour, caster sugar, instant yeast, and if you have it, a little bit of gluten powder. Here I'm measuring instant yeast in a pocket scale. If you also want to learn how to use this scale, just comment below and I will tell you. At this stage, make sure all your ingredients are properly measured. Accuracy is very important in bread making. Now, I have already kept milk and water separately and butter and salt in one bowl in refrigerator. Cold ingredients helps in better dough texture later. Now take your dry mix and mix everything really well using a spoon or a whisk. Now take your dry mix, add the milk all at once and mix using your hands. Hands work best over here. Next, start adding water little by little and knead the dough. Just remember that every flour has its own absorption power. In my case, if I'm using 60 ml of water, in your case, it can be 55, 65, or even 60 exactly. So it doesn't mean every recipe is foolproof. You have to tackle it with your temperature, with your flour absorption power. So just remember that. Now, how can you tell that the water is enough for your dough? Just do this simple trick. The dough should be slightly tacky, not sticky. It should stick to your hand but fall off easily. When this is done, now knead the dough using a dough hook attachment for about 3 to 4 minutes. If your dough gets stuck like mine, just exchange the attachments with each other. That happens sometimes. Once done, cover the dough and let it rest for 12 to 15 minutes at room temperature. If you do this step, this will actually enhance the flavor and texture of your bomboloni. You can see that cobwebs, right? That should be formed after 3 to 5 minutes. Once it is formed, just let it rest. Make a ball and let it rest in room temperature only. After resting, add soft pieable butter and salt into the dough that we kept in refrigerator. The butter should not be too hard or too soft, just pressable. Have you ever wondered that why we add butter at the end while making bread but at the beginning while making cookies? Like, it's actually simple. In cookies, we coat the flour with cold butter so gluten doesn't form, giving us that soft, crumbly texture. But in bread, we don't want that. That's why we add butter at the end so that gluten can develop properly first, making the dough stronger and elastic. Okay, just let me explain what I did over here. I took the butter and salt from the refrigerator and gradually added the butter into the dough until the butter got absorbed with my hands. Then I took the dough attachment and knead it for like 6 to 8 minutes or until the dough gets smoother. Then you have to test the window pin test, which is the method I am doing over here. It should be translucent. Cover the dough and let it rest for 20 minutes. You can also put it into and preheated oven, but it should be a warm temperature where it is warm. In winter you can do that method, but in like summer you can keep it outside also. At that time I have lined my container with dusted flour and after proofing degas it gently and divide it into 70-gram portion. Shape each piece by bringing edges to the center and sealing it. Roll gently using the side palm of your finger. Don't rush this part. Always keep the dough covered or it will form a skin, and that can be a very big task to proof it 2x time or 3x time for the bombolonis. Now, when the shaping is done, you have to let it rest for 35 minutes in a dusted container in a warm environment. Once the rest is done, you have to handle bombolonis with extra care because it is halfway proofed and you don't want to deflate them. So you have to cut the parchment paper in square sizes and remove the bomboloni with extra care. Now just toss the all-purpose flour onto the counter. Place the bomboloni dough gently and with bare minimum pressure, just even out the surface. If you feel that it's a little wobbly, Just do that and do this method to make sure that the bomboloni is round enough to hold it shaped after frying also. I know shaping bomboloni dough could be a little tricky sometimes because I have faced that issue with me also. Like I used to shape the bomboloni dough very slowly and very gently, but at that time while frying, it should open out and burst out. Like I was like, why it is happening to me? And I got to know that it is because of two factors that the shaping is not proper and also it can be because of the oil temperature. Place the shaped bomboloni on dusted parchment paper. If it's not dusted, it can stick to the parchment paper very easily. Cover them and let it proof for 40 to 55 minutes. They should become almost three times in size. Now I'm shaping the rest bomboloni dough and keeping on top of the dusted parchment paper inside the airtight container. Just a quick reminder that every time you are shaping one bomboloni, the other bomboloni dough should be covered. If it's not, then it will form a skin and that will be a very big task for you to let it proof for 2x to 3x time. When the shaping is done, proof it for like 45 to 55 minutes. You can do a proofing test where you can press gently. If it springs back slowly, it's ready. Once it passes the test, heat oil to 165 to 170 degrees Celsius, not more than that. Carefully add the bomboloni and fry for 1 minute and 30 seconds on each sides. Use chopstick or ladle, don't poke the dough. Important thing, keep the temperature under 175 degrees Celsius only or they will brown too fast, leaving them undercooked inside. Once fried, rest them for 2 to 3 minutes before coating. Make a hole inside a chopstick, rotate gently 360 degree and fill with your favorite filling. The ganache recipe is mentioned in the description also. Don't miss it. If you wondered that why I told you to wait for 2 to 3 minutes for coating after frying, I just told you because after frying the bombolonis are too hot and if we directly put into the coating mixture like which is caster sugar and cinnamon sugar, then it can melt down the sugar and you will not end up having a cloud like finish to your bombolonis. Make a hole using a chopstick, rotate gently 360 degree in an angle and fill with your favorite filling. Here I'm using a chocolate ganache, you can use any filling. If you really want to experience what is perfect bomboloni, just dig in right after filling the bombolonis. If you have any query regarding the bomboloni recipe, just comment in and I will teach you how you can do that.